And I think the last one saved. So
Okay, so I think we're recording.
It says it's recording. Okay,
yeah.
so my part was memory failure. And we have to start off with the first part, which is the flashbulb memory, which if you guys remember, it's what's it called? A type of long-term memory. And it focuses on specific shocking emotional events. It's almost like a picture because there's so much details. There's like a location, emotion, and like your surroundings. So what are like some of your flashbulb memories, if you guys want to share?
I think for me, like when I was little, and I mean this still kind of continued on into like my early adulthood, you could say, but I would go to Juarez a lot with my family, and like I just remember going to the ice cream shop like every single Sunday with my uncle. That was kind of like a tradition, but it's like one of my earliest memories, and I don't know if that's just because like how long we kept that tradition up, but it's still something that like I can just so vividly remember. Like I can remember how the ice cream shop like smelled. So I don't know.
Nice. So for like me, my flashbulb memory would be like graduating. I remember everything, like a bunch of details about just walking across the stage. I remember how the order my family was standing because my dad was in the bottom row and my mom was in the top row. And it was something that I remember a lot because my parents are divorced. So it's hard to like see them all together. And I remember like everything. I remember where they were positioned. My mom was holding a banner. She was with my brother. And my uncle was right next to her taking a picture. And I even remember that my dad was wearing this hospital bracelet because my sister was born on that day. But when I asked my family about like the details, they told me some of them were wrong. Like my uncle wasn't next to my mom like I thought. He was actually like in the front row, but I didn't see him. I still saw him with my mom, which is weird, you know? Okay, so oh wait, I was a bit I'm sorry.
So for me, my flashbulb memory was when I went to the doctor, like the last time that I went to the doctor because I have a son, so like I've had him at 42 weeks, and you're only supposed to go up to 40 weeks. So that last appointment, my doctor was like, okay, you have to get induced now. So they called the hospital and they got me a room or whatever. And I was there with my boyfriend, but my boyfriend, he drove there, like in a separate car. But I asked him about it and he said that we drove together. So I don't know who's right or wrong, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I think my flashbulb memory would be when my younger brother was born. I remember my dad was taking us to school and my mom was on the passenger seat when she started having contractions. So my dad just dropped us off like close to the school, but not really at the school. And then he went to the hospital and she delivered my brother and everything. But when I asked my dad about it, he said that my mom was already at the hospital. So I don't know what I'm remembering or if I'm wrong or if it's like another sibling that was born that day. I don't know. But I thought that was my brother that was born. So I had it wrong.
So my flashback memory, I guess, was when my youngest sister was born. I remember me and my dad we were lost in Red Sands for like quite a while. It was like I remember it was like 1 in the morning. According to my dad, it was later than that. It was like almost 3 in the morning. And it was me and him. And then I remember my dad getting a call, and that call was from my neighbors, and they told them that my mom was taken to the hospital because she was about to give, she was in labor, like she was about a month. And I remember we couldn't find a way out, or my dad somehow couldn't find the main road. So we ended up getting home so late, and I remember that when we got home, we were eating pickles, and I don't even remember stopping at pickles. I was probably asleep or whatever. But I thought my dad never went to the hospital, but I guess he ended up going. He just let me alone at the house, but I thought we both didn't go. And yeah, I guess that's stuff.
Okay, so the second part is our childhood memory. So we have to think of our earliest memory, how old we were, what happened. We have to like think of as many details as we can. And we have to see like how confident we are about it. And if you guys like could have asked someone from your family like to verify the memory, do you think the memories would be similar or not?
My first childhood memory, I remember if I woke up like on Thanksgiving morning and my parents were in the kitchen and they were cooking, and then like I don't remember anything, and then like I just remember we were downtown and we were just like waiting in the car because it was cold. Like that's all I remember. But and then I checked with my mom, and she said that because I remember my mom going with us downtown, and she said that she didn't go, like that she stayed home. So I was like, that's weird, like because I could have sworn that she was there, you know?
So you're very confident in the memory, but it wasn't accurate.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I think like I don't think this is like my earliest, but because I have like a really weird timeline, I guess, for early childhood memories, but I remember how like I got my cat um because the condition that I had, I guess, with my parents, like with me getting a cat, because this was my third one. So I had to get surgery on my foot, and my dad told me, okay, look, like if you go and take the surgery like without anesthesia, I'll get you another cat, because I don't know if he was like, oh, they're gonna cost the same or whatever, but I remember just like, since I didn't take the anesthesia, they had to like numb like my foot, and they used like needles, and it was horrible. But I remember like afterwards, like the nurse gave me like a cookie, and then because the animal shelter was like right next to the hospital where I got my surgery done. My dad like straight up like carried me to the to the animal shelter because I couldn't walk. So I don't know, like, and I kind of checked with him. I was like, "You really did carry me like inside of the animal shelter, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, you were heavy for a." I don't remember how old I was, like 6 or something. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah.
So my childhood memory would be when my first brother was born. I was 2, about to be 3, and I remember walking in with my grandparents to the hospital, and we had bought a little mint green blanket for him, his first blanket. And right away, I wanted to see my brother. So I went straight to my aunt, who was with my mom, and she took me to the little like nursery window where you see all the babies like lined up. And I just remember that I was so tiny, and there was like a railing, so I stood up on it, and my aunt was talking to me like, "Oh, that's your brother." She was telling me his name and everything, and I just remember that he was the chubbiest baby ever. And then I asked my aunt what she remembers, and she told me that she was the one that gave my mom the blanket, and that all she could remember too was that my brother was like the chubbiest baby, but that's it. She doesn't remember much.
Hmm.
I think my earliest childhood memory, I really don't know what age I was, but I remember I was and we lived with my grandparents at that time. And my mom was trying to take a picture of me, and I didn't want her to. And she actually accidentally scratched me here. And I remember um, burning and everything, and I remember crying and not wanting to take the picture, but she still took a picture. But I remember that, she tried to hold me to put me in that position. And when I asked her, she remembered the same thing. The only thing was that I was I was sitting down in the bed, and I remember when she grabbed me, it kind of looked like she wanted me to kind of like fall or something. So in my mind, I thought she was making me fall, but she was trying to pick me up because I was falling. So when she was trying to pick me up, she scratched me, and then that's when I started crying. I thought she did it on purpose. But that's my earliest childhood memory.
I guess my earliest childhood memory was when I believe I don't know, I think it was 6 or 7, I'm not sure, but it was kind of traumatizing because I remember a gas tank exploded and I was near it, and I ended up getting burnt. And how I remember is like I I turned on the match, right? Like I was like the match, but I couldn't remember who was turning on the gas tank, so I was blaming it on my brother. And every time I like tell that story, I was like, oh yeah, my brother was the one who was like opening the gas tank. But according to my family, it wasn't him. It was a friend from my dad, I guess, during that time. And I could have always like, even after like I noticed what happened, I would be like, no, I remember seeing my brother uh, opening the tank, and it didn't end up being him. And I'm like,
Okay, so how confident were you guys in your memories? I personally was pretty confident about all the details, but it turns out I was wrong about a few.
I was really confident about my memory.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, I was confident and wrong.
So how accurate were your memories?
Not
Mine
that
was
accurate.
actually accurate.
Yeah.
So
Some of us were kind of like off by a little bit.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but like, so my question is like, my memory could be messed up, but like, how can I trust their memory? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what makes them special?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They are older, how do they remember
Yeah.
something?
I don't know.
So if your memories were different than your family/friends' memories, why do you think that is?
I think because
they
we're
had
like,
sorry,
go ahead.
I guess because they had a different perspective. I guess like, I don't know. They were paying more attention than us. I guess I would say that's the reason.
Yeah, I would say because like we're different people, like we experience things differently. So like I don't know, for example, like me and my boyfriend, we go out with like our friends and like we'll talk about like our experiences that we have, and he'll talk about like something that happened to us, but then I'm like, that's not true, like that didn't happen. But then I like taking this class, I've come to realize like that he experiences things differently. Like I don't know, like he encountered something else and I probably just don't remember because I wasn't paying attention to that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so people pay attention to different details, right? So if we had like a memory that when we were like younger, like around like 3 or 5, we may not remember as much information as like the adults because they remember like the important stuff, and kids don't really like pay attention to that. So another question is, what, if anything, does this tell us about the relationship between confidence and accuracy?
I guess they're not related. I guess not just because we're confident about it means that it's accurate. I guess it's like uh, I think it was like the eyewitnesses where like your confident level could be so high, but you could still be wrong about it. So yeah, I don't think they correlate with each other.
Or you might be confident and like accurate in some parts of the memory, but then like something that might have like not been either relevant to you to pay attention to, like even though you're confident because you were there, like you're still not accurate. So it's still like, oh, it's not like a 100% thing.
Okay, yeah. Like in the lectures, how confidence doesn't equal reliability. Like I think that's how it goes. The last question is, what, if anything, does this tell us about the nature of forgetting? Is it complete? Is it permanent?
I don't think it's permanent or complete because you still remember parts of information. And then sometimes when they correct you, like, no, this is not how it happened, you kind of remember, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. It didn't happen that way, it happened this other way. So I don't think it's you forget completely or permanently.
Mhm. Yeah, because like you can, I guess, like get your memory triggered by anything, or like even your own consciousness like reminding you of something. So, even though you forgot it after so long, if maybe suddenly the topic comes into conversation or something like that, it can be retrieved. Um, or I guess even like just nothing's really like ever gone forever, like maybe unless like a disease comes in, and even then like um I guess like for Alzheimer's, like there's still so much we don't know. So you can never be like too sure that something is actually permanently gone.
Okay. So I think now I have to do my article summary.
Okay.